Hi, I'm Sheva Carr.
And I'm Robert Browning.
We're collaborators at HeartMath Healthcare, where we bring HeartMath interventions to hospitals in order to bring resilience to those who work in them. And we define resilience at HeartMath as the capacity to prepare for, recover from, and adapt in the face of challenge, adversity, or stress. This definition of resilience was adopted by the US Navy in response to an appreciation of our over 30 years of peer-reviewed evidence-based research in the field of resilience and optimal physiology for human beings. Now is a time in healthcare when we need resilience more than ever in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. And today we're going to address the role that worst case scenario worrying plays in compromising our resilience and what we can do about it.
So this worst case scenario worrying, it applies in all aspects of our life, whether it's our civilian life or our healthcare giving life. We work a lot with many healthcare leaders, and it's inspired the creation of these particular videos. And the amount of worst case scenario planning, which is completely intelligent and important to do, but where it tips over into the fear and the anxiety and the worst case worrying scenarios of and how that affects our physiology and brain function. And that can be a range from, will there be enough equipment? What will be the peak of this particular dynamic? What will be the ramifications of our healthcare force? Will there be enough?
Or will there be toilet paper at Costco when I get off work? My personal worries about my self-care. It can play out in every area of our lives during a pandemic like this.
So any place where we are worrying about anything that is outside of this particular moment, such as where is food going to come next, the most important thing is to be able to intelligently relate in as coherent as a possible way to those things that our own intuition, our own foresight, our own intelligence is saying, hey, that's something we're going to need to handle. This is something we're going to need to care for. But if we can draw back the deficits of the imbalance in the autonomic nervous system around prolonged fear and worry, those emotional states, and what that does to our physiology, we pull that back and order it in a way inside of ourselves, then we can bring our full self, we can presence the nervous system, and we can bring more of an integrated intelligence on how to handle it.
So we're going to do a tool that helps us do exactly that. For me as a healthcare provider, one of the most important distinctions I bring onto the floor with me every day is a distinction that HeartMath gives us between caring and overcaring. So our capacity to have foresight and look ahead to see what might happen, what might not happen, what we need to be ready for is crucial in a pandemic like this. It's a human superpower. It's one of the things our higher cortex and frontal and prefrontal lobes of our brain enable us to do, is to look ahead and plan. But and that comes from the capacity for authentic caring. But when that tips the balance and becomes an aggravating worry that's draining our vitality day in and day out, then it tips into what we call overcaring. And that actually eventually shuts down the higher centers of the brain that are solution seeking and problem solving. So there's a simple skill from HeartMath that allows us to shift our heart rhythm patterns, sending a signal up the vagus nerve and along 3 other biological pathways or communication pathways between the heart and brain that keep that forward-thinking, solution-seeking aspect of us online when we need it the most.
So this particular technique called the inner ease technique, it seems like an oxymoron. How can we feel ease at a time like this? Well, it turns out that even in the most adverse situations, even when the world seems to be falling apart around us, we do have the capacity inside of our heart to generate a quality of ease unto itself that first brings ease to the autonomic nervous system, which then can create the experience in ever increasing small degrees of emotional or attitudinal ease. So, should we dive in?
Let's do it.
So step 1, it's called heart focused breathing. Just imagine that your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area a little deeper than usual. Not forced. Just finding a rhythm that's comfortable for you. Breathing in and out through the heart area, about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out.
If you find that your worst case scenario planning has turned into a draining form of worst case scenario worrying, just for the duration of the next 60 seconds while you're finishing watching this video, you can take the energy and fuel you've been expending on that worry and put it in the heart. Imagine you're just putting all those thoughts and projections about the future into your heart as you breathe in through the heart and out through the heart.
And now breathe a sense of calm or ease, and if that feels really strained to reach, simply recall in a time perhaps when you did feel a sense of calm or ease. Maybe it was in a place in nature. Maybe it was listening to water. Maybe it was a soft moment in a warm blanket. Whatever it is where there was some reference point of a state of just a touch of it, breathe that memory, breathe the feeling of that memory, the experience of ease. Draw in the feeling of inner ease and breathe that through the area around the heart right now. Just imagine it nourishing your body, your cells, your nervous system, and your mind.
We call this technique inner ease because it's designed to handle situations that aren't easy. So when the outer circumstances are difficult, we train soldiers in active militarized zones these tools. When outer situations are difficult, then being able to bring inner ease to our physiology optimizes our response. So we're conserving energy to be able to handle whatever happens, whether our worst case scenarios play out or something else. And this also lines us up with our heart's intuitive guidance so that we can plan better for what's to come. We thank all of you from the depth of our hearts for being the frontline responders to what's happening and what is to come in the COVID-19 crisis. And these and other resources are available to you at heartmath.com, or if you write to us for extra personalized support at DeStress, DESTRESS, at heartmath.com. Thank you for all you do.